All right, welcome back to the Entrepreneur to Entrepreneur Shift the Culture podcast. And the band is back together, maybe not in person, but we are all here present to do the show today.
But
Gail
in
Hanna,
spirit.
Travis Miller, and myself, Gregory A Collie II. The band is back. I don't
Yes,
know when
sir.
last we do a show together. BTVI.
Yeah, that
My
was a while ago.
Lord.
Wow. But it's good to have you
You
back,
gotta
Travis. I know you're
guarantee.
a busy man. You're doing a
Gotta
lot of stuff.
guarantee the views for Travis, you see?
Ah, that's what happened.
Oh my goodness.
Travis done going Hollywood on us, man.
In full transparency, but not giving away too much, is that time of the season where people are starting to, in terms of projects coming along. Pitch season is usually August, September when you're giving in new proposals, and now a lot of things are getting locked down. So, I'm gonna get in between things quieting down and then going ghost in terms of being focused on projects for the next couple of months. I'm back. I'm coming above the surface.
All right. Well, ain't nothing wrong with being busy. Can't be mad at that.
Can't hate on that.
No, not at all. But today, we're going to be discussing collaborations and partnerships, and we can touch on different aspects like why don't we see more people, collaborating and forming partnerships in the Bahamas? How to find a good partner or find someone to collab with. So we're going to get into the details. So, Gail, your business was a partnership or is a partnership actually. Can you explain to us how that partnership came about and how is it working out for you thus far?
Okay. Well, the Catalyst Group was originally supposed to be another type of business. And when I saw that that wasn't actually coming to fruition, I decided to focus more on my own personal strengths and what I actually wanted to do and where my passions were and so on. And at the time, I met Graham Wilson, who is a photographer, videographer, and graphic design person. I don't want to say personality, graphic design in the industry. And he had something that he was doing on the side as well of his main job. And so essentially, we sat down and decided, okay, you have this strength, I have this strength. How can we somehow put that together to form a more...
Hello? Paige and
Hello.
Gail.
Or what?
Paige and Gail. Gail, you still there? Let me see if the call ain't drop.
They get a dread. They get a dog.
They get her. It's still saying the call connected though. I don't know what happened. Yeah, the call ain't dropped. It's still connected. Okay, well, hopefully we get her back on shortly.
Yeah.
Travis,
Hey, what's up?
are you familiar with partnerships? Like, have you formed a partnership at any point in your life? Did you join up with somebody? And if so, how did that go? Did it work out? Is it currently working out? Like, what's your experience with collaborations and partnerships?
Yeah, it's good. Like a couple of months ago, I decided to partner up with two people I worked with on projects down the line, Sasha and Tony. We've always worked on projects separately, and a few months ago we decided, let's get together and actually make this a formal partnership and work on that. That's going on, and also working with like in a team or working with partnerships with other people on different projects. So all of those are going great right now, and it's definitely a huge learning experience, especially coming from, working solo and learning how other people work and, what other people's strengths and weaknesses are, and being able to take, to compromise in order to work as a bigger team. So, like, I guess I think there's a phrase out there that says, like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a team. So I'm definitely learning a lot of that too, because everybody has different personalities. Everybody brings something unique to the table, and it's a balance of, you say, hey, you don't have to do everything yourself, and you could always ask for help, and you could always rely on people with the team, and then let people build on their own strengths and weaknesses to give a better product. And I think, like, to what you're saying, like, I guess what the top of the show is, like, why more people don't work together in collaborations and projects is, I think a lot of people's egos get into play. A lot of that. I think people feel like, either somewhere between they don't want too much of the light to shine off of them, or they feel like they may know, they're the best at what they're doing, regardless of them being in a team and letting them, play as a team. On top of that, it's just in general, and you have some cases, and you have people collaborating in smaller pocket silos, which is also a thing. So, like you have 2 or 3 different groups that could probably kick ass. They all work together, but they're either disconnected from what's going on with what other people are doing, so they don't know exactly how they can leverage those collaborations. Or again, you have that thing where our group is better than your group, so they kind of keep it separate.
Right.
Or they feel like the mission kind of varies a little bit differently. So I think when it comes to those values, those collaborations and partnerships tend to always be separated, which is a sad thing, because you could go so much farther working together. But people just either don't want to do that because they feel it may be too early, or they feel like they limit what they're trying to do right now. I think it starts with being a little bit more open-minded of what could be achieved as a team.
Right.
And so that's actually very big lessons for me trying to build what we're building in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years.
Awesome. Gail, you back?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we lost you. I don't know where, if you remember where you went off, but for some reason it cut out there.
I have no idea.
But I think we got the gist of it. I mean, if you wanted to add anything else.
It was just that it was a recognition of strengths in separate areas, and then the willingness to kind of combine those strengths in order to make one thing that was better than what we had going on now. Because he was doing his own thing, it was okay. I wasn't really sure where I was trying to fit in, and I was kind of doing my own thing, but not fully. And then putting that together to create a product that would basically satisfy both of those strengths. But you wanted to talk about why people don't collaborate in the Bahamas?
Well, I could even, and that's actually kind of part of my situation, because I'll be honest, and I think I've said it before, I got some trust issues, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't trust people very easily. And it has to be you have to kind of prove yourself, because I don't want to waste my time, because I know how hard I work and how much I bring to the table, and I don't want to waste time with someone that isn't at least as serious. And also just where I was employed for about 10 years before I started my business, I just saw how people interacted with each other, how they interacted on the job, the things they did on the job, and it didn't build a good case for trust.
Right.
And so I have difficulty with that now, even though I realize that I really need to partner more, because like you said earlier, you can't do everything. And you you really limit yourself when you're trying to do everything and be that one person that handles everything. You really limit how far you can go and how much you can accomplish. You actually need other people to get to a certain level. So now I'm just starting to embrace, collaborating and partnerships. And I'm actually working on a potential partnership right now, which I don't want to...
Oh, wow. Look at you, Greg.
You just killed me.
Look at you.
Yeah, I have something that's in the works it's looking promising right now. Hopefully it stays that way and remains, the way I see it right now, and it all works out. But I'm actually, opening up to this partnership, and it was just recognizing that, because it was something else that I wanted to start, and I already got some stuff to try and start it, but then I was introduced to this person through a friend, and they were already doing the thing that I wanted to get into. And they were just starting out, so they had already done the research. They had already, perfected the product. They already got, a lot further than I was. So I'm like, instead of me trying to start from scratch to learn and develop this thing, why not speak to this person, see if they're open to, partnering up, and then, we could work that way and, put our heads together and probably put out even a better product.
Right.
So that's where I'm at right now. Like I said, it's early. Don't want to say exactly what it is yet. But when the time is right, I will say, and you probably will see it before I even say it. But so yeah, I'm embracing the partnership thing now. But for a long time, and even to a degree now, it's a struggle because of the trust. Like I said, the trust issues, and maybe that's why we don't see more people collaborating and partnering up. Like, what's your thoughts on that issue with people not partnering in the Bahamas?
Well, again, yeah, and that's like yeah, Jay said it in the comments. It's so timely. Like at least, especially for me, it's again, it's like that trust issue. I think everybody gets to the point, especially when they've either been an employee or worked in an environment where they've learned so much, from the good and the bad. Like you learn different processes, like trying to refine how you create a product or a service, and then learn how to work a particular way. And in some cases, you technically have to unlearn a lot of those things in order for you to work better as a team. So I think just like, a lot of people get stuck in if it's not broke, don't fix it type of thing, where they get stuck in a particular way of working. But the nature of business have to continually evolve, and when you bring more people with more talent and more creative thought into the mix, have to relearn a lot of things. And you get a weird anxiety at first. Like, it's just like, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, but you have to do it, and you kind of have to trust yourself to say, yo, I didn't know that this beautiful thing would come out of this. I probably would have not done this thing if I didn't collaborate with the team or worked on this particular project where I kind of, in a way, put your ego on a shelf and allow something more to flourish from it. So why a lot of people don't do that, I think, is because they don't want to get popped up on, because they feel like it's almost a level of failure if they try to attempt that, and they don't even want to get that far into it because they feel like they don't want to fail on something, or that anxiety with that.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like we generally don't do relationships very well in the Bahamas, regardless of what kind of relationship it is. And when you collaborate and partner with somebody, it ends up not being just about business, because now you have to learn this other person's, let's say, habits. You have to learn how they do certain things. You have to learn how they communicate. You have to learn stuff that you probably wouldn't even have thought you needed to learn in order to make this business partnership work or business collaboration work. And especially when the more people you have in the mix, like communication, especially, so important. And communicating everything openly and honestly, especially when, somebody may not be pulling their weight, or somebody may have said they were going to do something and it didn't come through, or those parts where communication are uncomfortable. If the collaboration is supposed to survive, also, we have to have those conversations that we may not essentially want to have. And I think a lot of collaborations, y'all mentioned trust. A lot of that has to do with people not communicating exactly what was going on, people having ulterior motives, all kinds of little things. But it boils down, in my opinion, to keeping our communication on top. And we as Bahamians, we're not generally very good at that. We like to pretend that everything is all rosy and shiny, when things are actually not that case, or may not be that way. We want to cover it up and pretend like it's not happening. And you can't do that if you're supposed to have a successful business. So it's virtually impossible. If you're going to be working with other people, it's virtually impossible to do that with proper communication.
But I want to expound upon something you said, because it's very, I think it was very poignant that you said, we don't do relationships well. And that's what I don't think we take into consideration a lot of the times, is how to balance the personal and the business aspect. You know what I mean? Like, how do you manage that balance in a partnership? Like, from, because personal is going to be a part of it at some point and in some way. So how do you manage that?
I think the same way I've noticed people in other cultures start business collaborations and partnerships. They actually try to get to know each other a bit before they enter into an agreement. And we come from like an American style of doing business where we just want to get down to brass tacks. We just feel as though we have to make this thing happen, and we are focused on getting things in place to the point where we're not even sure who exactly we're working with. And what I've noticed from other cultures, like especially South America and even Cuban cultures or the Orient, they sit down and have a meal.
Yeah. They break bread.
They discuss certain things. They're on the golf course. They're at the beach. You know, they're doing certain things prior to the ink drying on the paper or prior to actually engaging in business with these people. They're taking the time to feel them out a bit first. And I think we kind of skip that. Like I said, it's more American to jump into it than anything else. But I think we need to take a bit more time and...
But that's interesting because a lot of people would think, no, you got to separate business from pleasure. You know, this is strictly business. But, you know, according to you, that personal relationship... Go ahead, Travis.
Well, I definitely agree with Gail. And, like, I don't even think that this is important prior to it. And it's important, like, ongoing to the relationship, like, to the company culture. Like... You know, you definitely have to know who you're getting in, you know, in business with.
I agree. Yeah.
But like just to know where expectations lie with people. What do you feel like you're getting out of this potential collaboration or project or business opportunity? But even down the line, like you got to realize you're going to be working with these people most of your waking moments of your life.
Yep.
So outside of work gets important, and work is a level of stress itself. But you also got to be like, look, okay, this was a shitty day. We need to go out for drinks, or like talk about what the hell happened in that meeting, or even celebrate what we did in that meeting, or you know, celebrate those small wins. Because especially, not even talking about working with remote teams where you don't see each other on the day to day. There's also the next side of that where you see each other too much, and you don't want it to always be about work. And this is something, like, again, I think is Bahamians really don't touch on that in terms of corporate culture. Like, when I was working in companies in the States, like, every quarter we had a day where we just closed the office. And I'd like to see and do more of that here. And that's up to, especially if you're the business owner or entrepreneur, to think about how you want to incorporate that type of culture early. And that's something we're thinking about as well, like, on multiple projects that we're working on, because you don't want it to be all about work, because work gets stressful, and if you let the personal bleed into what work is, then you get a lot of tension in there, and I think that's bad overall for the business.
Yeah,
I think a lot of businesses... Oh, sorry, Greg, you want to say something?
Go ahead.
I think a lot of businesses don't even see their business as a collaboration. And that's why team members are so competitive and don't trust each other and stuff like that. I was working at a company one time, and they had a trailer or a storage space full of T-shirts with the company logo on them that they would give to customers, right? But they were sitting in the storage space catching dust. So I literally took them out and I handed them out to the employees. Do you know the employees were in shock?
Wow.
The employees were like, oh, I never get nothing from this company before, or this the first time I ever get a so-and-so shirt. Everybody have a so-and-so shirt, but I don't have one, and stuff like that. So when you have situations where essentially the owner is treating the employees badly, in turn the employees treat each other badly, and then when you host things like Travis mentioned, a day where they close the office. In the Bahamas, you close the office. Well, how many people showing up to the event? 4, maybe 5.
Because to the one, they don't like being around them people anyway when they're awake. So imagine when they have a day off, you think they will hang around them?
So, and what Travis mentioned was important too. Like, you have to do these things in order for a group of people to collaborate, to feel as though they're on the same team. And oftentimes we feel as though we're competing with each other, and it fosters that dislike for team efforts.
Right. And again, like this is so important, because we don't think this is one of those things that happens in business development that we don't talk about a lot, but it's so important for the next couple of years, because you bring, when you go to a business with the culture that you put right now is going to affect the culture when you bring 20 or 30 people on. And this
Absolutely.
in most cases is very intangible, and it's really up to the founders and the partners or whatever, or whoever's collaborating to always, get to that point where, you could be open and transparent about things. You feel like you've had that psychological safety to talk about whatever. Doesn't always have to be about business. How genuinely was your day? What's going on in your life? All that thing, even though it may not seem like a business activity, it is a business activity in most cases.
And that's the thing, we ignore that part, and it's such important, and that's why Dito here in the comments says, when you think about it, it's called a business relationship. Keyword relationship. And we don't focus enough on that actual relationship. We just focus on the business. Kentisha also comments said, when I lived abroad, we had happy hours where the company would pay for our team members to go to local restaurants to have 2 drinks and finger food. Why? She says specifically 2 drinks. It was great for jelly beaning.
No, be specific now.
Yeah, I mean, she be specific. Now you all get 2 drinks. But she said it was great for jelly beaning. I don't know what that means. Okay, term they created for getting to know your surroundings better. Great team building, but they would fire you for drunk driving home from the same event. Okay, I guess that's why it was 2 drinks. I guess that's why it was a 2-drink maximum. But see that her company was trying to, her company was, they created events to have their employees interact with each other because, like I said, at the end of the day, it is a relationship. You do spend most of your time around these people, so it's probably a good thing if you actually like being around each other because that can affect, your output and how you work.
Right.
And I think thinking about it, with Travis doing Shift the Culture and moving from meetup to pitch night, for example, where meetup was like that relaxed kind of informal environment that people could interact in. And then the trust built there allowed people to feel comfortable sharing their ideas with each other.
Wow, mind-blowing, Gail. I didn't look at it like that.
But the good, and that's...
It's the truth. It was born from that fostering of camaraderie and collaboration where people were comfortable enough to trust these people with, again, moving forward to the next step, which would be in pitch night at the time.
Word.
And that's like, it's a good thing because you get an opportunity to learn people outside of the work environment. And because people can be completely different when they're working from when they're in a more relaxed atmosphere.
For
You
sure.
know what I mean? And so it really gets like someone who you might not like on a regular because of how they are when they work. You actually get to see that that's not just the only side of them. You get to see more sides of them, and you'll be like, oh, this is a good person. I was thinking this is stuck up or a crazy person or something like that. So it does give you an opportunity to get to see people in different environments and get to learn them a lot better. Because I'm sure we all are different people when we're working than when we're relaxed or, having a good time.
Yeah.
So that's always good for the atmosphere and to get people to work together better. Let me see. Dito says, Greg, you missing your shirt, by the way. I apologize, Dito. Now, I would put the shirt on every show, but what you think? You think I should wear the shirt every show?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay,
Watch
Dito.
it. Just only if you watch it. Only if you watch it.
Only if you watch it, eh? Well, they ain't gonna know. They can't tell. All right, Dito, I can try.
I wanted to comment on this comment that Jay put.
Go ahead.
Needed for growth in all aspects of the business community. And I think that also when you collaborate, you have to make sure that you're collaborating with people that can assist you with achieving a next level. I think that's really, really important also. So collaborate with people that you can learn something from.
Well, let's get into that. Let's get into how do you pick or find someone to collaborate with? How do you find a good partner, a good collaborator, someone that's, strong in those areas, someone that you can learn from? How do you go about doing that? Because a lot of people may want to partner with people or collaborate, but they don't know how to find these people, where to find these people, you know what I mean, what to look for. So what do you do or what advice would you give to someone looking to collaborate or partner, but they just don't know where to go or where to find these people?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I think we need way more places where we have open events where people could meet more people. I mean, all those events that you probably have like basic workshops and talks where you pay for it, it's okay, but I mean, like, just to have an environment where it's open and free, like someone may bring drinks or whatever like that, but it's just like more meetups. I like to see more different people doing meetups. Like, again, and It's kind of counterintuitive from what I said about the silos in different groups, but that could also be the advantage of different groups. Like I might go to something open and free that the art community is doing, or what another business group is doing. Some people I don't see on the day-to-day. I try to get plugged into there to kind of learn what's going on there. After that, it's just really spending time with that individual person. I think I can't remember who exactly touched on it, but like, get to know that person out, like how they feel outside of the office and then how they feel inside of the office, like in terms of what you want to do in terms of working with them. Because get to know what their goals, get to know what their values are, what they like, get a little bit about their personalities and try to gauge it to like how you would work with that person before anything goes on ink, first and foremost. Time is always big. And then not necessarily get the brass tacks of the business, but talk about what do you want in the next 5-10 years, and how what you do and what I do kind of works together in that puzzle. It may not be 100% clear cut. You'll definitely buck heads in terms of how you work together, but having that open level of transparency and communication early makes it easier to bring it up and have those conversations again. And like nobody would know that you're missing anything or you're missing out on any particular thing that wasn't said early in the game when it was low risk.
Gail, and I could dip outside my next guest reach, but go ahead, Gail. Talk about places people can meet and how to find that partner.
I just think it's organic growth. As Travis mentioned, it's just something that happens kind of by chance. Where Travis, you linked up with your group for a thought method. That wasn't planned when y'all first met. You had no idea that probably would have happened, but it was able to grow organically. And then same thing with me, happenstance. Same thing with Greg. He said he met somebody through somebody else. Like, it's just organic growth, something that you can't really explain it. I think that's what it is. Like, those really quality collaborations and teams that come together, it's kind of different than, the average team building activity or whatever. I don't know if you feel the same way.
No, I do.
Empty couch.
and again, it's like that doesn't go without saying that. Again, those are the things that you do, but there will be pitfalls in collaborations and partnerships. Like everybody. Like, it's good to communicate early, and communication above everything is the biggest thing that makes both work. Like, everybody may not be in the same building at all the time. They'll have to communicate what's going on, or who's doing what. And that a little bit gets into, like, the level of project management, if you want to look at it in a sense like that, especially if you're either working on projects in the business or your collaboration is a project. And that communication should happen early and often, and people will mess up. But again, a part of being in a partnership and working with people is letting it be known that it's okay to mess up, as long as you're open about it and you can learn about what went wrong. And then if you offend anybody on your team, be open and actively work on either trying to improve yourself or make sure the situation doesn't happen again or is lower risk. Like, it's a continuous level of work, again, that may not necessarily translate into output of a product or service, but those go a long way in terms of what the future of your business looks like, especially working with a team. And again, you may work with somebody and they decide in the next couple of years that, they want to move on or do something else. That's okay too. That doesn't mean that what they've done or helped in this situation didn't help build the business that it did before. And don't have any ill will, because there may even be a situation where they go with a different company. That's okay. That's another can of worms that you'll have to open up eventually. But as long as you learn to love and respect everybody you work with as a team, you mitigate a lot of that risk down the line.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Because I collabed with...
With who?
I want to know. Gail, you still there? Gail, for you to block again, eh? Ah, Lord, I want to hear this question so bad. Well, let me read a couple of the comments while hopefully we could get Gail back connected here. Maybe I should hang it up and then call back. Let me do that. And call her back. And then I'll read a couple of the comments that people, because they have some good comments coming in as well. Let's see here. Okay. So Kantisha says, collaborate with someone better than you, not your friends. Well, some of your friends might be better than you. Gail, you back?
Yeah, you could hear me?
Yeah, okay, go ahead and ask that question.
Oh, I was saying, okay, how do you, how do you respond if you collab with somebody on something?
Say again?
Say it again.
Stab you, double cross you, however. You could hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask the question again.
How would you respond if you collabed with somebody on a project or business and they basically backstabbed you or, double crossed you, however you want to put it, and went on to profit from that collaboration?
Tackle that one first, Travis.
I think I don't know. Everybody's specific business case is different, but again, that's where you don't. It depends on how good you separate personal from business. Now, if it's something as smooth as just severing ties, like we'll go both ways, it's still all love. Like, I mean, it's all love and respect. You know, you may want to go your own way, we're going our own way. As I still respect you as a person. Now, when it comes to a situation where backstabbing comes at different levels. The person steals money, did that person, like, talk about you bad to a client or something like that. Those are specific cases that will come back to bite you in the butt if you address it or you don't. Yeah, I would still even I would try to be the bigger person and be like, this is what it is. I didn't necessarily know you need to do it that way. But at the end of it, the end result shouldn't affect your business because the business should be able to go on and thrive. Now, if it's a situation where you come to heads and y'all have to separate the business, that doesn't mean the end of the world as well. It's unfortunate, but a lot of people feel like, they get in these clashes and they feel like it's the end of the world. And I think that prevents a lot of people from not even being open up and talking and having that communication. So I guess I would say the remedy of that is just, again, come to the table and say, look, address things one-on-one with that particular person and see what happens from there. Everybody's case is different. So
Yeah. I mean, I like to use sports analogies, especially football, and I like to say you got to have like that quarterback mentality. And because, at times, quarterback would make a good play, but the receiver may slip out his hands and cause an interception, mess up the play. You got to have like a short-term memory. You can't get too high or too low. So if something goes bad, you partner up with somebody, it goes sour. I think you just have to suck it up and keep it moving and make sure you learn from it. Take certain things from that situation so that you don't make those mistakes again. But I think what happens is too much people harp on things and they get depressed and it's understandable, why you wouldn't want to do partnership after somebody, takes advantage of you or something like that. I get that. But at the end of the day, you always have to have the macro.
When large sums of money are involved.
Yeah, especially when large. I mean, shoots, it don't even have to be large sum of money. I mean, friends fall out over $50, $100. You know what I mean? So it doesn't even have to be a large amount of money. I mean, it's because a lot of times it's the principle of the matter that really gets the people. It's
right, the principle.
The principle I think hurts more than the actual money. You know what I mean? They feel this betrayal. So you just have to keep it moving. You know what I mean? You got to understand that these things are going to happen, especially in business. Not everything is going to work out in your favor, but you got to make sure that you learn from every situation and keep the bigger picture in mind and just continue to move towards that. Things are going to happen. I mean, you can't do anything about it after it already taken place. All you can do is try to prevent it from taking place again.
Right, and a part of that prevention is, if somebody did wrong, or if I can't really speak for everybody, but if you're the person that did wrong, try to see how you could correct the problem, whether that's something that you could better with yourself or to try to rectify the situation. It's always going to be that weird thing, but it isn't impossible to fix. Right. You just have to be willing to put the ego aside and fix it.
Right. Let me get a couple more comments before we go. Dido says, I also notice a lot of Bahamians have this fear of sharing their knowledge because they think that the person they share knowledge with will use that information to take business away from them and therefore cause people not to want to collaborate.
That's true.
Very true.
Bahamians feel that way.
Very real, and you hear it all the time. I'm sure, even Travis, with pitch night, you've experienced people. People don't want to pitch their idea because they may feel someone may take it, or you know what I mean. So and
again, it doesn't discount people have been burned before in the past. Again, a lot of people are different. More cases than not, someone isn't just going to run with the idea or execute it the exact same way as you. But I'm not discounting that people have been burned in the past. And maybe even the extreme cases that your friend goes and runs with your business like a Facebook type situation. Again, at the end of it all, really on you. Are you going to allow that to stop you at the end of the track? Or are you, especially if you're the brainchild of it, I would count that more as a challenge to you to say, okay, like, dust yourself off and try again, try something different, prove wrong type of thing.
Yep. And Kentisha says, believe it or not, these festival events are great meetups. A lot of people approach with many different avenues of growth. I got a major hotel partnership from a farmer's market. So go ahead and attend those festivals and events. You never know where you can meet people. I don't know if you guys plugged it, but Shift the Culture is a great place. This is actually where I met Travis at the pitch nights, the Shift the Culture. And you see, we collaborated and we brought about this show that we bring to you guys every week. So, different events you want to attend. Festivals, meetups, Shift the Culture, like we said, is a great group to join because it's, a lot of like-minded people collaborating on different ideas. So there are many avenues for you to go out there and meet people. Dario says, blessed love island, but Escapes Bahamas is here. Welcome, Dario. Thank you for tuning in. And that's Dario who said he got about 5 playing it. How much it was, Gail?
5 plays?
Yeah, you forget it, Travis, the BTI.
How
much playing he say he have?
Yeah.
But let's wrap this one up. Just we little overtime here.
You can have the latest models too.
He got about 5 plane and 5 boat. Dario could trust us something we could collaborate on something. Dario, if you listen, you could collaborate on something in the future. But anyhow, Latico says, hey Greg, what's going on, Latico? I hope I pronounced your name right. And Gail,
hey,
LOL. So that's all the comments there. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Gail and Travis.
Before we wrap up, I'd like to take the opportunity to document it on this show. I'd like to thank and appreciate and show love to anybody that I've ever collaborated with in the past. Everybody from the show, you, Greg, you, Gail, Tony with Autumn Method, Matthew, Stefan, Nakia, Pino, everybody like who I work with at the new project, Arling Ventures. Starter Island, Starter Island Shipping Culture, none of that would happen without collaboration and projects. Anybody who's a sponsor, thank you. No man is an island, no one could do it alone, and I just appreciate everybody for the help. And, it's in your process to learn.
Likewise, my brother. Yeah. Much appreciated. And, yes, like I said, thank you people for tuning in. Thank you, Gail, for calling in. Thank you, Travis, for calling in. Thank you guys for doing this collaboration. It's been a while. We've been doing this for a while. It's been a fun journey. Who knows where we can take it, but I've been enjoying it so far. And this is just an example of a collaboration that came about from, meeting up and talking about certain stuff and having similar interests. So get out there, people. Networking is very important. Dario says the scariest thing an entrepreneur can discover is that you cannot copyright an idea.
You can only act on it.
Yeah, marinate on that one, people. So don't be afraid to collaborate. I mean, you could be cautious, being saying go out there and just throw your idea out to every and anybody. But, don't be afraid. Don't close yourself off because it does limit what you can do and what you can accomplish. Because one person can only accomplish so much. You may be able to get a good distance, but if your goal is to have a bigger business, a bigger reach, and to grow, chances are you're going to have to collaborate and form partnerships. And that's the only way you're going to be able to do it. So let's not be afraid. Let's continue to meet up. Let's continue to partner up. And let's do great things together. Thank you again, people. We appreciate it. We're going to end the show that we end every show. Losers make excuses. Winners make adjustments. And Dario is correcting us. He says he only have 2 planes and 5 boats, but no cookies.
And no cookies.
Yeah, Dario, if you got 2 planes and 5 boats, you got plenty of money to buy cookies. So you know what to do. What's up for 226-524 and you'll be straight, sir. Hit me up. You got boat and plane. You ain't got no excuse. No excuse. Well, once again, thank you, people. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Peace.
It's the after show. It's the after show. Oh, yeah. It's the after show.
Woo.